How many times have you regretted telling someone things about yourself? And how many times has someone taken advantage of the information you gave them about your life to hurt you? In this video, we will look at the 5 things about you that no one should ever know. And if you stick around until the end, you'll discover the real reason why protecting these 5 things can bring you peace and tranquility. But before continuing, if you are not one of us yet, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to receive other stories for your spiritual growth. The wind whispered through the maple leaves surrounding Ryusenji, the temple of the dragon spring. Nestled in the Japanese mountains, its curved roof stood out against the blue sky like an ancient promise of peace. There lived the venerable old monk Kado, a man whose face was furrowed with wrinkles as deep as the paths he had traveled in his long life of spiritual seeking. His white beard flowed like a waterfall of snow, and his eyes, of a deep black, shone with a quiet and penetrating wisdom. One spring day, a group of pilgrims came to the temple, eager to receive his teachings. They came from every corner of Japan, carrying with them burdens of worries, doubts, and an insatiable thirst for a more meaningful life. Kaido welcomed them into the inner garden, an oasis of tranquility where verdant moss embraced ancient stones, and a small pond reflected the sky like an enchanted mirror. After offering them hot green tea, Kaido sat down on a meditation cushion, inviting the pilgrims to do the same. A respectful silence fell over the group, broken only by the singing of birds and the rustling of leaves. "You have come here seeking wisdom," Kaido began in a calm, deep voice, "and I will try to share with you what I have learned throughout my life. Today, I will tell you about 5 things that are best kept deep within your heart. 5 secrets that, if revealed, can hinder your path to serenity and spiritual growth." A murmur of curiosity arose among the pilgrims. Kaido raised a hand, inviting them to silence. "The first thing you should never reveal is your true goals. I'm not talking about superficial desires, like a bigger house or a more prestigious job, but the deep aspirations you harbor in your heart, the ones that drive you to improve yourself as a person, to realize your full potential. These goals are the compass of your soul, the direction you are aiming for, the flame that burns within you and motivates you to move forward, even in the face of difficulties. When you share these goals with others, you expose them to judgment, envy, and outside interference. The words of others, even if said with good intentions, can sow doubts, discouragement, and even hinder your path, instilling fears that you did not have before, undermining your self-esteem and confidence in your abilities. Guard your dreams like precious seeds, nourishing them with your determination, your faith, and constant work, cultivating them with care and patience until they are ready to germinate and manifest themselves in the world without haste and without the influence of external factors. Consider silence as a fertile ground for their growth, a safe place where they can develop without being disturbed, a protective refuge where they can mature undisturbed, ready to blossom at the right time. Kaido paused, observing the attentive faces of the pilgrims. "The second thing not to disclose is your future plans, especially those that have not yet materialized. Talking about them prematurely dissipates your energy, fragmenting the concentration needed to complete them, weakening your determination, and making it more difficult to achieve your goals, and exposes you to negative influences such as other people's pessimism, non-constructive criticism, or the projection of other people's fears onto your projects, creating imaginary obstacles and fueling unnecessary anxiety. The universe responds to actions, not words, By focusing on present action, on what you can do here and now, you create a solid foundation for the future, laying the foundation for the realization of your plans. Act with determination, step by step, with consistency and perseverance, and let your plans manifest themselves at the right time, like a flower that blooms in its season without forcing its growth. Silence and discretion are precious allies in the realization of your projects because they allow energy to concentrate and manifest itself concretely, without useless dispersion, without it being dissipated in chatter and anticipations. Don't give in to the temptation to anticipate the joy of success by talking about it before it has happened. True joy lies in the journey, in the challenges overcome, and in its conclusion, not in the verbal anticipation of a result that has not yet materialized. A young pilgrim named Kenji raised his hand timidly. "Master," he asked, "if we don't talk about our plans, how can we ask for help or advice in times of need?" Kano smiled softly. There is a substantial difference between asking for advice and divulging your plans. When seeking advice, focus on the specific problem you are facing, analyze it clearly, identify the critical points, and ask for an outside perspective, an expert opinion, not on the project as a whole, avoiding digressing into superfluous details. Ask for guidance and support without revealing unnecessary details that could distract the other person from the heart of the matter, focusing instead on finding concrete solutions to the problem that is plaguing you. The wisdom of others can illuminate your path, offering you new perspectives, alternative strategies, and solutions that you had not considered, broadening your horizons and providing you with new keys to understanding, but the responsibility to act and achieve your goals, to persevere despite the difficulties, to overcome the obstacles that you will inevitably encounter along the way, remains exclusively yours. Do not delegate to others the responsibility for your success or failure, but be the architect of your own destiny, aware of your abilities and your responsibilities. Kenji nodded, grateful for the clarification. Kato continued his teaching. The third thing you should never reveal to anyone is your weaknesses. We all have areas where we feel vulnerable, emotional wounds that have not yet completely healed, insecurities that we carry within us, fragilities that are part of our human nature. Sharing these weaknesses with people who are not worthy of your trust, people who have not shown empathy and respect towards you, people who might take advantage of your vulnerability for their own purposes, can expose you to further hurt, harsh judgments, destructive criticism, and even manipulation, turning your vulnerability into a weapon against you, fueling your sense of inadequacy and undermining your self-esteem. Seek the comfort and support of trusted and compassionate people, people who love you for who you are, with your strengths and weaknesses, who offer you a sincere ear and unconditional support. But always be cautious and selective in revealing your weakest points to anyone, carefully choosing the people to whom you open your heart. True strength lies in a deep awareness of one's weaknesses, in the acceptance of oneself, one's limits, and one's fragilities, and in the ability to face them with courage, humility, introspection, and inner work, not in exposing them to the superficial and often malicious judgment of others, which can only fuel your insecurities and make the process of inner healing more difficult. The silence that followed was even deeper than the previous one. The pilgrims seemed to be pondering Kaido's words, internalizing their meaning and thinking back to their own experiences, the moments when they had felt vulnerable and the consequences of their confidences. The fourth thing to guard jealously is your acts of generosity. When you perform an act of kindness, of compassion, of selfless help towards others, whether it is a small gesture or a great act of altruism, do it with a pure heart, with the sincere intention of doing good, of bringing a little light into someone else's life, without seeking recognition, praise, approval from anyone in return, much less a material reward. Showing one's greatness of soul transforms a noble and spontaneous gesture into a form of vanity, of self-celebration that empties it of its authentic meaning, reducing it to a mere exhibition of oneself. The true reward of generosity lies in the inner joy you feel in doing it, in the deep satisfaction of having contributed to the well-being of others without expecting anything in return, in having acted following an impulse of the heart, moved by empathy, compassion, and a sincere desire to help those in difficulty. Let your actions speak for you. Let them testify to your goodness of soul, your sensitivity, and your ability to love others without the need for proclamations, ostentation, or seeking the approval of others. Remember, true generosity is a silent act, a gift that is offered without expecting anything in return, a gesture of pure love that is done in the depths of the heart, without needing to be displayed to the eyes of the world. Cultivate generosity as an inner virtue, as a way of being and relating to others, and not as a means to gain social recognition or to satisfy your ego. Kaito looked at the pilgrims' faces, noticing a spark of understanding in their eyes. Finally, Kaito concluded the fifth thing you should never reveal, unless absolutely necessary to help someone in need, to prevent serious harm to yourself or others, or for legal reasons that require it, are your secrets from others. If someone confiding in you reveals an intimate secret, a personal confidence, a sensitive piece of information, a vulnerable aspect of their life, honor their trust by guarding that information with the utmost discretion and confidentiality, as if it were a precious treasure entrusted to your care, a sacred pledge that has been delivered to you. Talking about it with others, even with the best intentions, even with people you think are trustworthy, even to seek advice or an outside opinion, violates a sacred pact of trust, a bond that was created between you and the person who opened up to you, and can cause irreparable damage to human relationships, generating resentment, anger, deep disappointment, loss of mutual trust. In some cases, much more serious consequences on an emotional and psychological level for the person who confided the secret, who will feel betrayed and humiliated. Imagine trust as a crystal vase. Once broken due to an inappropriate revelation, it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to completely repair it. The shards of disappointment and betrayal remain, creating deep wounds that are difficult to heal. Be a silent guardian of the confidences that are made to you, thus demonstrating moral integrity, reliability, emotional maturity, and deep respect for the privacy and vulnerability of others. This ability to maintain confidentiality is a hallmark of a mature, responsible, and trustworthy person, an essential quality for building authentic and lasting relationships based on respect, mutual loyalty, and deep human understanding. Always remember, words have immense power. They can build solid bridges between people, strengthening the bonds of friendship and love, or erect insurmountable walls, separating individuals forever and generating deep wounds that are difficult to heal. Choose your words carefully, weighing them carefully before you speak them, carefully considering the possible consequences, and learn the precious art of silence, especially when it comes to keeping other people's secrets. This ability to maintain confidentiality is a hallmark of a mature, responsible, and trustworthy person, an essential quality for building authentic and lasting relationships based on mutual respect and loyalty. Cato slowly stood up, offering a final smile to the pilgrims. "These 5 things," he said in a gentle voice, "are like precious stones that you keep in your heart. Guard them carefully, and your path to serenity and spiritual growth will be smoother and more fruitful." Remember that silence is not just the absence of words, but an inner space where wisdom can germinate, where energy can concentrate, where intuition can manifest itself, and where the true essence of being can manifest itself in all its fullness, without being distorted by external noises or negative influences.